Hello, this is Rabbi Betzalel Edwards from Jerusalem in our new location in the neighborhood of Baka. I am the new Rebbe of Carlebach-Isbitz. I didn't want the job, however, Mom asked me to do it. So in order to honor my mother, I would like to offer some teachings from the Radzin Rebbe, grandson of the Ishbitzer, and first I'd like to say a few words about Carlebach. So there's these two words in my title. One is Carlebach and the other is Isbitz. Carlebach is from Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, who passed away 14 years ago. Some of you watching this may have known him quite well. Rebbe Shlomo Carlebach, there's only a few things, the first things you need to know about him are he said, these days we don't need rabbis anymore, we need friends. And he was a true friend. Now I'm sure all of you out there have a few friends, some more, some less. If you won't lift a finger to do anything for your friend, unless it's got something in it for you, then basically you're a jerk. But if you are there for your friends, and you'll go out of your way, maybe even put yourself in some discomfort in order to help your friends, so your friends will feel better, and you're a good friend. Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, of blessed memory, our Rebbe, every Jew with an open heart, not open heart surgery, but who had opened his heart in the sense it was receptive and willing to learn, and didn't have to be like Shlomo or think like Shlomo, but was willing to listen and was willing to open his heart, as Shlomo used to always say. That person was Shlomo Carlebach's friend. And Shlomo, the two things you need to know about him are that he died without a home. Yeah, he had a little house in the Moshav, but that's he was constantly living in the hotels, traveling. He would move every week in the airport. He was constantly traveling from continent to continent in order to help Jews, his friends, wherever they might be. And the other thing is he died penniless. He gave away all his money. His daughters got very little, if anything. I don't know the details. But he basically, Shlomo, he had money. He would ask for money, $3,000, $4,000 for a wedding. And then that right after he got it, he would give it out to poor people or needy people or whoever needed money. He only had enough money for the plane tickets and the hotel fees, and other than that, it was all given out to people who needed the money. There were people that didn't even know him, who never met him, or were receiving checks from him for some reason or another. Chassidus and Kabbalah told the story that he kept every month he'd receive a check from Shlomo Carlebach for $20, $30, $40, whatever, $100 sometimes. Every month he'd get a check. He says, I never met the man. I have no idea why he's sending me money. So, and okay, who in our generation is on that level where he's constantly on the move for other Jews and doesn't care for money but knows how to ask for money in order to give it to the needy people who need it? The secret of tzedakah. Okay, so let me quickly introduce the next segment, because these segments are only 10 minutes. The Merkava Mysticism, Charriot, the vision of Yechezkel. It had 4 faces on it, and the 4 faces were the face of an ox, 4 faces for each one, 4 wings for each one of them, a straight leg. There were the angels surrounding the chariot, 4 angels. and their faces were the form of the face of a man. It's the first chapter of the book of Ezekiel. The faces were in the form of the face of man. The lion's face was to the left, to the right. The lion to the right of the four, and the face of the ox was to the left of the four, and the face of the eagle was to the eagle of the four. So there were four. So it doesn't say what was in the front or what was in the back in the verses. To the right, the lion. To the left, the ox. Let's say to the back was the eagle and to the front was the man, but we don't know, or the angel. There was a face of an angel. But the thing I want to seize on is the question we have is why was the face, the four faces were the face of man, and then it says the face of the lion, the face of the eagle. Rabbi Akiva in the Zohar said, why did Shlomo Melech say, I descended to the Ego's garden? The Egos means nut. Why did I descend to the nut garden? This is just as we say he descended to the Merkava. Rabbi Akiva is asked, what does the shell of the Egos, which is discarded, represent? So the Zohar answers, just as a nut has a shell which surrounds the fruit, so it is with everything possessing Kedusha. Everything that is holy has a shell around it, where the Kedusha is the inside force, and the Kedusha, that's a Hebrew word meaning holiness, where the holiness, the sanctity is on the inside, the inner vitality of sanctity. And the outside is a shell surrounding it. That's the force of the no good. Okay, that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say was on the next page. I was on the wrong page. But it's a good teaching anyway, so it's worth hearing. Let's say it again. Let's not, and say we did. Another place in the Zohar says this, yet it is certainly so with the holy supernal tree did God seal them with his seal. What is the holy supernal tree? This is the 10 Sfirot, the connection between God and man. God has no form, and the Sfirot are not they're a part of God, but they're not God. We don't pray to the Sfirot, we pray to the transcendent, one and only source of all, by whose will all things exist, and who gave us the Torah, and we made a covenant with him at the Mount Sinai. However, the medium connecting the infinite to the finite is called the 10 Sfirot. This is described as a tree. So, and the tree is in the form of man. A tree has arms and legs and a trunk and roots and feet and a furry, leafy top. So in the book of Ezekiel it says the form of their faces was the face of man, the face of the lion to the right, the ox to the eagle to the left, ox to the left. That is to say, the face of man was included in all four faces of the chariot. So the question we have, which we will deal in the next segment, is why was the face of man included in all the four segments of the chariot? I hope to see you there.